Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is the 6-month anniversary of my Achieving Target with Slimming World, and even I'm amazed that 6 months down the line I'm still there. And yeah, we will get on later to drawing out the name of the person who is going to receive my giveaway prize today. But firstly, I'll tell you what I've done this week. I've done my usual, my 11 syns, my A's, my B's, and I've lost £0.5. I'm comfortable with that, I'm happy with that. I know I can't continue to lose £0.5 every week because I'm going to get out of the bottom of target again. I'm currently sitting £1.5 under my 10 stone 7 target. So at 10 stone 5.5 I'm comfortable. I need to try this week to maintain that rather than to lose another £0.5. So watch this space, we'll see where I am next week. But again, looking at the start of each month, I am more or less maintaining within £1 my 11.5 stone weight loss. And I am dead chuffed with that. Dead chuffed. So let me talk today about group. Fabulous group as normal. Big group today, 6 new members, which is, which is always encouraging. Always encouraging because we know people come, people go. We need to keep topping up that number. Excuse my neighbours just going out and the window's open. Yeah, we need to keep topping up that number to keep the groups going, don't we? And I wanted to talk a little bit about what happens in different groups. Now, I'm familiar with the way my group runs, and for me, that's normal. Now, I hear people sharing, and friends share who go to different groups locally, that their groups are quite different to mine. I imagine there will be just a formula for the way the groups are run, but I don't think there is actually. I know there are certain rules that they work within, but I learned this morning, well, I had already known that if my group leader sold me a 12-week countdown, I got 2 weeks free. Now I think that's great because if you buy 4 countdowns over a 1-year weight loss plan, you save £40. It's a substantial saving. If you do it in the 6-week packages, you know, again, you're saving money because you get a free week every 6 weeks. But what I didn't know until Naomi shared it this morning was that the group leader loses 2 weeks' money. They don't get paid back for the 2 weeks that we get free. So talking with other friends, I have heard them say in the past that at some groups they don't promote countdowns. And some groups, one friend I have, had never ever heard that there was such a thing. So I just want to point out to people, and you probably already have them in your groups, but if you don't, if they don't promote them, ask about it. Don't be afraid to ask because it's hard-earned money out of your purse. So if your group leader isn't actively promoting a 12-week countdown at the moment and advertising the fact that the new journal comes free with that for the next 2 weeks, ask about it because it is available to you as a Slimming World member. Our leader goes on holiday in a fortnight. Next week we have the Man of the Year, don't we? I think that's in most groups. And we're blessed because in our group we've got 5 guys at the moment, and I think it's going to be a really healthy competition next week. So each one of them is going to stand up and tell a bit of his story, and then we get to vote. Now, I know where my vote goes because there's one lad who sits behind me every week who has lost, I think, 2 stone 6 in, I don't know, 8 weeks, something like that. And he's funny. He's got a wonderful sense of humour and he's a lovely lad. But likewise, the other men in the group are really nice and they're all doing really, really well. So although I know where my vote's going, if he's not there, I've got a second choice. So that'll be good next week. And we have the taster session and we have some fabulous cooks in our group. So there'll be some lovely things to try. Whether I take something or not, I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. But the question Naomi asked us was, in 4 weeks' time, which will be the 2nd of July, they will be returning from their 16 days in America and weighing in that morning with us. Where do we want to be in 4 weeks' time? And I said, I'd like to be where I am today, just very slightly under my target weight because it gives me a cushion. Some people were saying they'd like to lose half a stone, they'd get down into the next stone bracket. You know, lots of the people who were at Target were saying they'd like to maintain the weight loss they have already. But yeah, it's not an unhealthy thing to do, is it? To say to yourself, where do I want to be at the start of the next month? And for me, keeping a list of where I am at the start of each month is giving me not a goal, but something to focus on. Being balanced. I'm very much into repeating healthy patterns, and it's a healthy pattern thing for me. The other thing that our group leader said, and this spoke to me, was for 2 weeks we will have a substitute group leader. Now, I've had this lady before and she's very good, she's experienced. But Naomi asked, please, just because we're away for 2 weeks, don't think your group's not here for you. Don't stay away because it's a substitute leader. You should get the same level of support, and you will get the same level of support. So again, I'm actively encouraging people, if your group leader's away, don't stay away yourself, because it's a dangerous place to be. Don't think I can do it from home for a fortnight or whatever. Don't think I'm not going because it's a stranger leading the class. The group will be the same people you're used to every week. So stay to group where you can, because it really does make a difference. And I say that from experience. I need to stay to group every week. I need to touch base rather than just walk in and get on the scales and walk out again and feel I'm doing it on my own. What I love about Slimming World is that community. Not just the YouTube community for Slimming World, but the group community. Talk to people in your group. Please don't say, nobody talks to me. Please don't say that. Because I went in there as a totally blind person, and it would be very easy for me to feel isolated, because I can't just make eye contact with somebody or wave across the room. I make a point of talking to people because I don't want other people to think nobody talks to me. So when we sit here and we say, nobody talks to me, it's a two-way street. We only get back what we give out. So even if it's just say hi to the person next to you, just say, how have you done? Then next week they might say that to you, or they might say it to somebody else. So make that group a friendly place to be. And I know I have a responsibility to do that, same as the next person. So that spoke to me today. My word for the week, this week, is repetition. Now, I've learned over the last year with Slimming World that repeating things that work for me, they keep working. If I keep repeating the bad stuff, I stay in the same place. One of my friends always says to me, Jane, if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. And because I used to do crap, I got crap. Today, I do plan. I get results. So if you do something that works for you, it will keep working if you keep doing it. It won't keep working if you keep thinking about doing it. I'm saying you, I mean me. So I found what works for me within this plan. I found what I've shared before about needing to breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, my tea is more like a pauper's, works for me because I'm not going to bed on a full belly. But likewise, I'm never going to bed hungry. I bounce out of bed every morning because I know my breakfast's waiting for me. I love my breakfast. Now, people might think I was boring. I have the same breakfast every morning. Doesn't matter whether it's a weekday or a weekend, I have the same breakfast because that works for me. You have to find what works for you. It may well not be to have the same thing every day, but I love my breakfast. I have an apple sliced up so it feels like something enjoyable. It doesn't just feel like a piece of fruit in my hand that I'm munching on, which for me, an apple, if I ate it in my hand like an apple, whole apple, that's a snack. If it's sliced up nicely and presented nicely, that's part of a meal. So I have my apple, which is sliced up and presented nicely. I then have 2 boiled eggs, which we have an egg boiler, which I'll show you one week in case nobody's, excuse me. in case you haven't seen one. I will actually show you it one week. But I stick my 2 eggs in the egg boiler and I walk away and let them cook. So I have my 2 boiled eggs after my apple, and then I have what I call my overnight Weetabix. Now this is 2 Weetabix crunched up with a whole tub of quark, not a part tub, a whole tub of quark and a Muller Light.
Well, 250 gram pot.
Not the big one.
No,
sorry.
Tesco do a big 500 gram.
Oh, sorry, a 250 gram pot of quark and a Muller Light. Now my Muller Light of choice is generally vanilla and the dark chocolate bits. That's my favourite at the moment. I was heavily into the coffee ones, but they seem to have disappeared. I'm not a fruity person in that I don't like fruit and yoghurt. So although I could have raspberries on the side or strawberries on the side, I would never choose to mix them in with yoghurt because that's not my taste. But I have that for breakfast every morning. Now some might think, how boring, how predictable. But for me, it's repetition of something that works for me. When I prepare my meals today, I repeat what's become a good habit in that the first part of my main meal is vegetables. Now, I don't eat meat every day. I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't eat meat every day. I get protein from pulses quite often because I love beans and pulses. But the main part of my meal is my vegetables. Then I decide what's going with that. Will I put chicken with it? Will I put fish with it? Will I put pulses with it? Now food optimising tells us, doesn't it, a third of your plate must be speed food. But that's a minimum, a third of your plate. It's not a maximum. But what I would say today is something that drives me crazy is when people say, oh, carbs, carbs are free, you can eat as much as you like. Yes, you can. But why would you? I could have had a dustbin lid full at one time. Would that have been correct? Would that have been healthy? Would that have been food optimising? Food optimising is when a third of your plate is carbs. Not when you find yourself a fabulous big dinner plate like I used to, build a mountain on it of pasta and then perch a little bit of bolognese or something on top and then see how much cheese you can get to balance on there. That's not food optimising. So if you're struggling with your weight loss, and I had to learn this, I'm not just saying do as I say, this is what I've had to do. I've had to learn there are some things that you really do need to eat in moderation. Now, a lot of us share that we get bloating from too many carbs. I have that problem. So I choose today whether I want to feel bloated or not. Genuinely, I don't want to feel bloated. So I curb what I eat to fit in with what feels comfortable for me. I would not today eat a mountain of pasta. And when I hear people sharing, it says you can eat as much as you like and I'm not losing weight very fast. Common sense says to me, the reason you're not losing weight very fast is because you're eating too much pasta, too much rice, too many Slimming World chips. Now, you might be sitting there looking at the screen and saying, Jane, I can eat as many as I like. Yes, you can. Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Well, you can, Joe.
It's a third of your plate.
Okay, a third of your plate.
You've got to have as much pea foods as speed foods as you're having. So if you had like, I don't know, half a kilo of mashed potato or Slimming World chips, you'd equally have to have half a kilo of chicken with it. And
I
half
agree.
a kilo of spinach.
But my point was that people would say, it says I can eat as much as I like. What it actually says is, eat until you're full, eat until you're satisfied. It doesn't say, Jane, you can be the big pig you used to be. It says, eat until you're full, eat until you're satisfied. Likewise, when I eat a plate of food today, I start with the vegetables. I start what I'm eating, I eat the vegetables first. Because I used to be a bugger for thinking, well, it says I can eat as much as I like, so I would have ate the potatoes or the pasta first. I'd have left the vegetables because that's the stage when I would have been full. But what I'm saying today is, Slimming World chips are all well and good. they're fine, but they shouldn't be the main part of your meal, and they shouldn't be something you're having nearly every night. This is only my opinion, but I have got a substantial weight loss and many years of experience behind these opinions. You don't have to take them on board. But if you're going to have Slimming World chips nearly every night, if you're going to have mountains of pasta every night, if you're going to have loads of rice and noodles and, I don't know, some of the things that people choose to eat, loads of bread, if you're going to have those things all the time, your weight loss is going to be non-existent or it's going to be slow. So it's no good whinging about it. If you're not going to have loads of speed veg and healthy stuff, your weight loss is going to be slow. If you want a good weight loss, my opinion is today, focus on your speed foods first. It's not a magic solution in that those speed foods don't have any extraordinary powers, but what it is those speed foods fill you up for fewer calories. Then add to that the other food. So look at the filling power of speed food. Fill yourself up with it. Use speed food for your snacks. I personally choose to have strawberries or raspberries or watermelon for my snacks, an apple, a conference pear, peaches if they're nice, if they're in season and they're nice. I would have those for my snacks. I would not have a banana or grapes or blueberries, because although they're free, they're not speed. If I was having a banana today, I would have some strawberries with it. Balance it. Because if you choose to have 3 fruit snacks in a day, and that's good, that's okay, but if you had a banana for the first one, blueberries for the second one, and a bowl of grapes for the third one, there's no speed there. It's good food, but it's not speed food. So if I focus today on the speed food fills me up for fewer calories, and I know this is not a calorie counting plan, but bottom line for any weight loss is calories in, calories out. And the way I believe this plan is formulated is that the speed food is the lowest calories, the free food is the moderate calories, the syns are the high calories, the A's and the B's are the healthy options. So if the majority of my food today is speed, a moderate amount of my food is free, and the lesser amount of what I eat today is syns, I have a weight loss, or I maintain a weight loss. If I turned it on its head and the majority of my food today was free food and syns, and the minority of my food today was speed food, I would either stop my weight loss or I would slow it. Or in my case, often I would gain. And that's been my experience of a year on Slimming World, 6 months of maintaining. If I think of my syns, again as calories, the programme says 5 to 15 a day. It doesn't say 1 or 2. So if you're doing 1 or 2, in my opinion, you're shortchanging yourself. It says 5 to 15. Got my serious head on today, haven't I? 5 syns loosely equates to 100 calories. 10 syns loosely equates to 200 calories. 15 syns loosely equates to 300 calories. I choose 11 a day because I've found on a balance for me that works. If I need to gain a bit of weight, I'd up them to probably 13 or maybe 15. If I was struggling to maintain, I'd drop them a little. If when you're on your weight loss journey, and I did this, I'm not talking out the back of my head, I did this. I started my weight loss journey thinking 3 or 4 syns a day, aren't I clever? I was getting nowhere. My body wasn't getting the synergy, the balance between the different aspects of the programme. So I upped my syns at the beginning to 15, and I lost every week. Well, I lost weight every week. Then as I got into the plan, and I had lost a couple of stone, I dropped my syns to 12. Then to achieve my 3 stone 2.5 loss that I've got at the moment on Slimming World, the last part of my 11.5 stone loss, I dropped my syns to 11 and I've kept them there. Now, I hear people say I'm having 1 or 2 syns a day because I want to get this weight off quickly. My question to that would be, in a year's time, when you're nearing target, where are you going to go with those syns? Because you're going to need more than 1 or 2 a day for the rest of your life to enjoy your lifestyle. But you start upping your syns at that stage and you'll gain weight. So you need to have something that is a good amount of syns as you come down, so that you can tweak them when you're at target. So as I say, I started with 15, came down to 12, tweaked it to 11. If I'd started at 5, come down to 2, where would I be going now? To maintain the weight loss I have now, I would still be on 1 or 2 syns a day. That isn't doable. I still have my 105 syns a week available to me. I choose to spend 11 a day, which is 77, which leaves me 28 floating syns. Now most weeks, like this week, I haven't needed those 28 syns. But if I was eating out tonight and I chose to have, I don't know, a scoop of ice cream as a dessert, that's not very likely because I don't like ice cream very much, but if I chose to have a scoop of ice cream as a dessert, I've got syns I can use to do that and I'm still on plan. If I don't do it that way and I push myself out of plan, my head goes loopy, I'm off plan. Can I stay off plan for one meal? Very unlikely with me. I'd be off it for a week. I know I would because I know the way I react. Perhaps some of you are much tighter at it than I am. Perhaps some of you can bounce back better than I can. But I know that if I lose what I'm doing, if I mess it up because I'm not repeating my good habits, my bad habits will crowd back in. So for me, the word of the week is repetition, because I'm repeating generally what I do on a weekly basis. I'm sticking to 2 A's, 2 B's, 11 syns. Some of you may say, God, Jane, you're obsessive. No, I'm not. I have different syns most days. I like the Go Ahead mini cookies. They're a good little packet of 10 tiny cookies for 5 syns. I could have an ice lolly today. I could have an ice cream today. Say I'm not keen. I could have whatever I wanted within moderation. It's working for me. I've had Brazil nuts this week. I've had almonds this week. I've had different biscuits this week. I've had extra cheese this week, but all within my syns. And because it doesn't send my head loopy, because I don't come out of plan, I don't have to worry about getting in. I can't do this in and out. I can't say I'm having a day off plan. I can't say, this is my lifestyle now. This is my lifestyle. And for me, that's what I think I was trying to achieve, a change of lifestyle. I'm not on a diet. This is the healthy way I choose to eat today, and I love it. Love it. You know, if I wanted a glass of wine or a couple of vodkas tonight, I could have them. Nothing is forbidden. I can do it. I can do it today. Can I share something that freaks me out? I used to do this. When I was at Slimming World the previous time, which is a few years ago, I used to go to a lovely class in a nearby town on a Thursday evening, and it was a big group. But at the end of the group, well, we used to talk about what we were going to have that night after group, what you're having tonight, what's your cheat, what's your treat. At the end of that group, there used to be a queue outside the chip shop, and I would have said 90% of that queue were us Slimming World people. And it was a bit of a competition who could eat the most and get away with it. And I thought that was clever. And we used to call it a cheat meal. I'm thinking about it today, and I'm still trying to work out in my tiny mind, who was I cheating? I wasn't cheating Slimming World, because Slimming World give me a plan to follow. They don't care if I cheat, because the longer I cheat and the more often I cheat, the more often they're going to get $4.95 a week off me, aren't they? So I wasn't cheating them. Was I cheating myself? I suppose I was. Well, I mean, who else is there? If it wasn't them and it wasn't me, who else would there be? I was cheating myself. And every week I did it, And every week I woke up the next morning and I felt shit. Because I'd overloaded my body with fat, one big dose of it. I slept badly because I genuinely had indigestion or bloating or discomfort. Was that clever? I hear people say all the time on vlogs and videos, and I hear people outside a group say it. I hear friends say it who are slimming worlders, as I call them. Cheat meals, treat meals. What's the difference between a cheat meal and a treat meal? They're the same thing, unless a treat meal is within plan. So today I have treat meals that are on plan. I do not, by the grace of God, today have cheat meals that are off plan, because that could send me in a spiral back into my old habits and my old failures. I won't do it to myself, because I'm not cheating you, I'm not cheating Slimming World, I'm cheating myself of good health. I was talking to Joe the other day when we were walking about this old habit that I had. And Joe said to me, look, you shared in your video last week that you started smoking when you were 14 because your friends smoked. I stopped smoking once for 10 years. When I was 30, I didn't smoke between being 30 and 40. I started again at 40. I stopped at 57, 2 years ago. It's coming up 2 years since I stopped smoking. Now, if I said to you today, you do your Slimming World for the week and I won't have a fag because I don't smoke. But on Monday night, you get weighed and we'll go to the chippy afterwards and I'll buy 20 fags and smoke them. Would you think I was stupid? You would. I'm sure you would, because I haven't smoked for 2 years. So even if it was my first week of stopping smoking and I managed to white knuckle it and go 7 days without a Marlboro, but on the night of the 7th day I celebrated, for want of a better word, that week without a fag by buying 20 Marlboro and chuffing away like an old chimney, would you think I was mad? Well, today I think people who go to group and celebrate weight loss by stuffing their face are just as mad. Now that's being outspoken. You're not cheating Slimming World. You're not cheating me or anybody else. You're cheating yourself. If you can do it all week, why come off it and then have to get up the next morning and get back on it? It took me years to learn the difference. And I'm just wanting to encourage you, don't do it to yourself. Don't reward yourself for a hard week's work or a good week on plan by feeding yourself. You're worth more than that. You're really worth more than that. Likewise, if you feel you've had a good week and you have a gain, which happens to us all, I had a couple of those during the first 6 months on plan where I was like standing there at the scales gobsmacked. How can I have gained weight this week? I've been spot on plan. But on each occasion the following week I had a good loss. So don't commiserate by stuffing your face, because you just make it worse. You make it harder. You make the journey longer and you make it more expensive. So I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. I'm just saying, if you do this, think about me with my fags. When you stuff your face on a weigh-in night because you've had a 2.5 pound loss and you go and order a Chinese to celebrate, just think about the fact that that would be me smoking 20 fags. And is it a good idea? No, it's not. Okay? Talk over for today. Aren't I bossy? I can get into bossy head mode. Oh, another thing Naomi said at group this morning, we had a couple of people back from holiday, both with small gains. They've done really well. But she said, now is the time to literally take off your holiday head, put it on the shelf, pick up your Slimming World head and put it back on. Now that spoke to me, because I've always said, if I haven't got my Slimming World head on, I can't do this. And it just showed me that there is a choice. You can put your Slimming World head on. So just physically do that. pick it up, put it back on and crack on, because it's the journey. There's no beginning, there's no end. There isn't a finishing line, I've shared that before. There's just the next chapter. So every stone you lose is a new chapter. Keep going, you're doing great. Okay, we have in here the entrance for the giveaway. I'm going to pick one slip of paper out. I'm going to pass it to Joe and ask him to read the winner. Now, I was just thinking close your eyes and pick it out so it looks like you're doing it fairly. What a daft thing to do when you're blind, but I'm going to do it anyway because I am daft. Right, I am picking out now one slip of paper and I'm going to give it to Joe. And I'm going to ask Joe to read out the winner. This winner, please send me an email. My email details are on the About Me section of my channel. Send me an email, give me an address to send the parcel to.
Tina Goatley.
Tina?
Goatley.
Can you spell that?
Goatley.
Goatley. Sorry, I couldn't tell what you're saying. Tina Goatley. So congratulations, Tina. You've won the 7 prizes. Send me an email with an address and I will put that package in the post to you within the next 2 or 3 days. Well done. And thank you to everybody. Everybody who entered. You were all in there. It's really appreciated. I'll do it again in 6 months, if not before. And thank you for watching. Stick with the plan. It works if you work it. It won't if you don't. Cheers. Bye.